Hey wrestling fans, welcome back to Wrestling Pro News, your go-to source for in-depth coverage of everything happening in the world of professional wrestling, where we bring you the biggest stories, breaking news, emotional tributes, and detailed analysis that goes far beyond the surface. Today we face one of the most emotionally challenging topics we've ever had to discuss. The fictional but heartbreaking passing of one of the most legendary and influential WWE superstars of all time, Stone Cold Steve Austin, in a tragic boating accident. Even though this is a fictional scenario, the thought of it alone would send an immediate shockwave through the WWE universe, shaking the very foundation of the industry and leaving millions of fans stunned, speechless, and grief-stricken. Austin's name is more than just a brand in wrestling, it's a symbol of rebellion, intensity, and authenticity. From his unmatched charisma to his fearless in-ring style, from the way he could silence an arena with a single glare to the way he could ignite it with just one line, Austin 3:16, he was more than a superstar, he was an era-defining figure. His loss would be felt on a deeply personal level by fans who grew up watching him dominate the Attitude Era, smashing beer cans together at the top of the ramp, delivering devastating stunners to everyone from The Rock to Vince McMahon, and standing as the ultimate anti-hero who defied authority and made millions feel like they, too, could stand up to anyone who tried to keep them down. For his family, this fictional accident would be an unimaginable tragedy, robbing them of a devoted husband, a loving father, and a supportive brother whose life was about more than just what the cameras saw. For his friends and colleagues, especially those who spent decades sharing locker rooms, long flights, grueling travel schedules, and the emotional rollercoaster that comes with life in WWE, the void would be impossible to measure. Triple H, who not only wrestled alongside and against Austin but also built a personal bond with him over years of shared battles, would be devastated. He would almost certainly release a heartfelt message to the WWE universe, extending his condolences to Austin's family, offering his personal support, and sharing memories that would highlight not just the wrestler Austin was, but the man he was away from the bright lights. WWE would respond to such a loss with an outpouring of tributes unlike anything seen before, special video packages capturing his greatest moments, emotional speeches from fellow superstars, and live crowds chanting his name in unison. They might dedicate an entire episode of Raw or SmackDown to his memory, with performers wearing black armbands, sharing stories in the ring, and reminding the world of the impact he had on everyone who laced up a pair of boots. His absence, however, would not just be an emotional wound, it would create a seismic gap in WWE's roster, the kind of void that changes the landscape entirely. Austin wasn't just a performer, he was a ratings draw, a merchandise powerhouse, and an inspiration for storylines that pushed WWE into some of its most successful years. Without him, the creative team would face the daunting challenge of reshaping rivalries and narratives that had relied on his presence. Some stars might step up to try to fill the space left behind, either by paying tribute to him through their character work or by attempting to become the new face of the rebellious, no-nonsense persona that Austin perfected. At the same time, others might use the moment to craft storylines where heels mock his legacy to draw heat, sparking emotional feuds that pull in fans already grieving. For the WWE universe, the fictional death of Stone Cold Steve Austin would prompt a tidal wave of online tributes, heartfelt messages, and tearful video clips. Social media would be flooded with fans sharing their first memories of seeing him on TV, their favorite stunners, the promos that made them laugh until they cried, and the matches that made them lifelong fans of professional wrestling. Old footage from his epic rivalries, particularly with The Rock, Vince McMahon, Triple H, and Kurt Angle, would resurface and be replayed thousands of times as fans sought comfort in reliving the magic he created. The loss would also reignite conversations about his unparalleled influence on the industry, especially how he took WWE from the new generation era into the chaotic, edgy, and wildly successful Attitude Era. His defiance of authority figures, his unapologetic attitude, and his connection with working-class fans turned him into a cultural icon far beyond wrestling. Austin wasn't just a superstar, he was a movement. His character gave people permission to be themselves, to fight back, and to embrace their own voice. The fictional passing of Austin would be a sobering reminder of life's fragility, even for those who seem larger than life. While WWE would undoubtedly push forward in the wake of such a loss, because the show must go on, the shadow of Stone Cold's absence would loom over every match, every promo, and every WrestleMania main event for years to come. His influence would remain etched into the DNA of the company, his style inspiring future generations of wrestlers who would carry forward the spirit of rebellion he made famous. The WWE Hall of Fame induction videos, the merchandise, the chants, and the endless list of wrestlers who name him as their greatest influence would ensure that his legacy lives forever. Even in this fictional scenario, one truth stands unshaken: Stone Cold Steve Austin will always be remembered as one of the most important figures in wrestling history. And even if he's gone, his legend would never fade. Wrestling fans, if this were real, the WWE Universe would unite like never before, channeling both grief and pride into honoring the Texas Rattlesnake's name for generations to come, and that in itself is a testament to the impact of a man who once took the wrestling world and turned it completely upside down. Hey wrestling fans, welcome back to Wrestling Pro News, the place where we dive deep into the pulse of professional wrestling, bringing you the most talked about moments, breaking developments, and exclusive analysis that you won't find anywhere else. Today, we face the difficult task of discussing a deeply emotional and sensitive topic: the fictional but heartbreaking passing of WWE legend Stone Cold Steve Austin in a tragic boating accident. The announcement of Austin's death would send shockwaves across the entire WWE universe, shaking both fans and fellow wrestlers to their core. As one of the most beloved, influential, and iconic figures in the history of the business, Austin's absence would be felt in every corner of the wrestling world. His unmatched charisma, larger-than-life personality, and fearless in-ring style have made him an enduring symbol of the Attitude Era and a hero to millions around the globe. For his family, this devastating accident would represent a personal tragedy beyond words, leaving them to mourn the loss of a devoted husband, loving father, and supportive brother. For his friends and colleagues, especially those who shared the ring and the road with him, the void left by his passing would be impossible to fill. Triple H, who was not only a close friend but also a longtime rival and ally, would be profoundly shaken by the news. In the wake of this fictional tragedy, he would likely speak from the heart, offering his condolences to Austin's family, standing beside them in their grief, and ensuring that Steve's contributions to wrestling are honored in the most fitting way possible. WWE itself would no doubt dedicate tributes, video packages, and special segments to commemorate Austin's legacy, with superstars past and present sharing personal stories of his impact on their careers and lives. Beyond the emotional blow, Austin's death would also mark a seismic shift for WWE's roster. His star power, his ability to electrify a crowd with just a few words or a raised eyebrow, and his knack for turning every appearance into a moment would leave a void not easily replaced. This could open the door for new storylines, intense rivalries, and even opportunistic angles, as some performers might attempt to fill the space left behind, while others would dedicate their matches to his memory. Fans across the world would respond with an overwhelming outpouring of grief, posting tributes, sharing their favorite, Stone Cold moments, and reliving his most legendary promos and matches. Many would revisit his greatest rivalries, from his epic battles with The Rock to his unforgettable clashes with Vince McMahon, and in doing so, rediscover the magic he brought to the squared circle. While WWE would be forced to carry on without one of its greatest icons, Austin's presence would continue to loom large over the company for years to come. His influence on the business, from his defiant, Austin 3:16 catchphrase to his rebellious anti-hero persona, has shaped an entire generation of wrestlers and fans. In many ways, Austin helped redefine what it meant to be a WWE superstar, paving the way for performers who refused to fit the mold and inspiring them to carve their own path. The fictional passing of Stone Cold Steve Austin would serve as a sobering reminder of the fragility of life and the fleeting nature of the moments we often take for granted. Even as the WWE Universe mourned, it would rally together, uniting in shared grief and celebration of a man who changed the game forever. His legacy would live on not just in highlight reels, championship histories, and Hall of Fame speeches, but in the spirit of every competitor who dares to defy authority, stand their ground, and fight with everything they have. As this imagined loss ripples through the wrestling world, the conversation would inevitably turn to the future. How will WWE adjust? Who will rise to the occasion? And what will the industry look like without the Texas Rattlesnake raising hell in the ring? Wrestling fans, the story might be fictional, but the emotions it stirs are very real, and they remind us why we hold our heroes so close. What would your reaction be if this were real? How do you think the WWE Universe would adapt to life without Stone Cold Steve Austin? Your thoughts, your memories, and your voices keep his legacy alive, and here at Wrestling Pro News, we'll continue to honor the legends, celebrate the moments, and keep the wrestling conversation going strong.